Salient features 1 of the Constitution, fundamental rights and duties. So our Constitution has a lot of features about whom we are going to talk. One of the features we are going to talk about today is fundamental rights and duties. Before we start fundamental rights, let's talk about the concept of single citizenship. India provides single citizenship to its citizens. It means that all the Indians, irrespective of their state of domicile, all Indians, irrespective of their state of domicile, they are citizens of India. It means if there is someone from Kerala, so still the citizenship of that person will be called as Indian. He or she will not be getting citizenship according to the state they are residing in. Maharashtra state citizen also will be called as citizen of India. In fact, in USA they don't have this system. In USA, one can be citizen of New York as well as USA. One can be citizen of Washington DC as well as USA. But in India, you stay in Punjab, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra. Still, you can be citizen only of India. Why do you think in our country we have this system of only single citizenship? Means, why are the citizenship not granted as per state? The reason is because when citizenships are granted as per state, it will not bring harmony among the people. It will bring separatist tendencies among the people. It will not create feeling of unity or harmony among the people. And we didn't want the feeling of separatist tendency to take place. We wanted to ward off this feeling. So we are promoting single citizenship. We wanted to promote fraternity and unity among the people. A person should not be calling himself or herself as citizen of Kerala or Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu or Gujarat. Every Indian should be calling themselves as citizen of India. That brings fraternity among people. That brings unity among people. We didn't want any separatist tendency to develop among the people. So that is the reason we have single citizenship. Now in our country we do have a provision for those Indians who are of Indian origin but who has acquired foreign citizenship. There are people who are of Indian origin but they have acquired foreign citizenship. They have surrendered their Indian citizenship, they have surrendered their Indian passport. So, for those people, what provision our country has? That means, it's simple. If someone has acquired citizenship of other country, okay, they cannot be holding citizenship of our country as well as foreign country simultaneously. That was the system earlier. But in the year 2003, Citizenship Amendment Act 2003 decided to grant dual citizenship. There was a recommendation given by a very high level committee on Indian diaspora. Based on the suggestions which this high level committee gave, we decided to come up with the concept of dual citizenship. So what is dual citizenship? Dual citizenship has been named as OCI, Overseas Citizenship of India. It has been named as OCI, Overseas Citizenship of India. Now, according to this OCI, which is also called as dual citizenship, the Indians who are of Indian origin, the citizens who are of Indian origin, but who migrated from India and acquired citizenship of foreign country. Those people who migrated to other countries except for Pakistan and Bangladesh, they will be eligible to get dual citizenship, which is also called as OCI, as long as their home countries also allow them dual citizenship. So what all privileges the people who are holding OCI or dual citizenship, these people will enjoy what all privileges? So first, they will be allowed to enter and exit from India multiple times without visa. They don't need any permission to visit India. They don't need permission to enter India or exit India. Secondly, for any length of stay in India, they don't need to report to the police authorities. Third, they have right to be treated at par with the citizens of India financially, economically, and educational field. In all three fields, they will be treated at par with Indian citizens. Only these people will not be allowed to acquire agricultural or plantation properties. Also, these people will not be allowed to vote in our country. They are not eligible to vote in our country. They are not given voting rights. They cannot vote for Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha or State Legislative Assembly. Also, these people cannot contest for the post like President, Vice President, Judges of Supreme Court. For Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, they cannot contest as a candidate for this post in our country. Also, if you want to get OCI, who is eligible to get OCI? A person registered for OCI is eligible to apply for grant of Indian citizenship if he is a registered OCI for 5 years. If he is a registered OCI for 5 years. And at least out of those 5 years, he has been residing in India for 1 year before making the application. So these are the provisions for OCI. Also in our country, we have a system of universal adult franchise. It means all the citizens who are above the age of 18 have right to vote. Have right to vote. Irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender they belong to. Every citizen has right to vote. Whoever is above the age of 18. You know, this is called as joint electorate. Electorate means group of voters body. In our country, the group of voter body is allowed to vote for any candidate of their choice, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender they belong to. In the year 1919 and 1935, British had introduced the system of communal electorate. British had introduced a system of communal electorate. It means a person was supposed to vote only for the candidates who belong to his caste or religion or creed. So there was a communal electorate system. But that was bringing communal politics. We wanted to bring communal harmony. That is the reason Government of India decided to replace communal electorate with joint electorate. Now, we have fundamental rights. Fundamental rights are the basic human rights which every citizen is entitled to receive. Which are the conditions, which are giving them the conditions which are helping every citizen for their all-round development. Fundamental rights are given in Part 3 of our Constitution. Fundamental rights are very important because they help in our all-round development. Fundamental rights also help in stopping discrimination. They allow people to live their life with dignity. That is why fundamental rights are very important. So we are going to talk about, there are 6 fundamental rights. Right to equality, right to freedom, right to religion, right against exploitation, cultural and educational right, right to constitutional remedy. But now one more right has been added, right to education. That makes it total 7 fundamental rights. Let's talk about each of them. So the first fundamental right is right to equality. Right to equality. It means every citizen has equal political, social and economic right. Every citizen has equal political, social and economic right. Under right to equality, there are 4 provisions. First, equality before law. Second, equality of opportunity. Third, abolition of titles. Abolition of titles. And last, abolition of untouchability. So there are 4 provisions under right to equality. First, let's talk about equality before law. It means law guarantees, this right guarantees equality before law as well as equal protection by law. It guarantees equality before law and equal protection by law. Everyone should be treated equally before law and everyone should get equal protection by law. Irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender a person belongs to, law is equal for all. There should be no practice of any sort of discrimination. If any sort of discrimination is done while treating everyone, it is a punishable offense. Our law and order rules are same for all. Every citizen is entitled to get protection to their life and property by law. So that is equality before law. Then we have equality of opportunity. Every citizen has right to get equal employment opportunity in central or state government. In central and state government, any of the offices, any of the employment opportunities under central or state government, every citizen will have equal right of getting employment for the jobs under central or state government. No wonder in our country we have a reservation system. There are seats reserved in government department for scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and OBC. But for rest of the seats, there should be no practice of any sort of discrimination. Every person who goes for employment in central or state government should get equal employment opportunity. There should be no discrimination based on that. For example, if there are 2 candidates going for a government job and whatever are the qualifications needed, both the candidates have that qualification, but maybe one of them is male and another is female, and a female is denied a job saying that we don't want to give this job to girl, whereas qualification was not demanding any such criteria that the job should be given only to a man. So if the girl is denied admission, employment because of the gender discrimination, it is not allowed. So everybody should get equal employment opportunity. Then comes abolition of title. In our country, any title which causes negation of equal status. What do you mean by negation of equal status? Any title which is trying to show one person superior than other with respect to status. For example, Rai Sahib, Khan Bahadur Sahib, Maharaja. Such titles you cannot use. These titles are causing negation of equal status. Again, I am repeating, any title which tries to show one person's status higher as compared to other, with respect to other, these titles are not allowed to be used. You are allowed to use only academic titles, MBBS, LLB, doctorate, doctor, CA, because you have worked for it. You have earned them. You've really worked hard to become MBBS or LLB or CA. So that you deserve because it's your academic achievement. Also, you are allowed to use military title like captain, commander, lieutenant, general, because these are the achievements. These titles are given to you because you have done that commendable job for your country. You are also allowed to use a title like sports title, Arjun Puraskar. Maybe you have done excellent in the field of sports. You are also allowed to use a title like Paramveer Chakra, Padma Vibhushan. Because these titles are not given to show your higher status. These titles are conferred upon you to show the achievement you have done. You have done that work that you deserve to get that title. So such titles are allowed to be used. But any title which is causing negation of equal status, you are not allowed to use those titles. And then last we have is abolition of untouchability. Abolition of untouchability. You are not allowed to practice untouchability. Practice of untouchability is a punishable offense. How is untouchability practiced? So in the olden days, so many people were treated as untouchable. The group of people called as Shudras, they were treated as untouchable. They were denied entry in public places. They were not allowed to enter temples. They were not allowed to drink water from public places. So many places where their entries were restricted or denied. But today, practice of untouchability in any form is a punishable offense. You cannot deny admission or entry to any person, which are public places. You cannot deny entry to anyone by treating that person as untouchable. It is a punishable offense. So these are the 4 things which are given under right to equality, which comes under right to equality. Now, the next right we are going to talk about is right to freedom. We all have 6 freedoms in our country, irrespective of caste, creed, religion, gender you belong to. First is freedom of speech and expression. You have freedom to express and speak freely. But of course, it should be spoken and expressed in such a way that it should not harm dignity of others. It should be in national interest. Second, freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. We saw recently so many students at Jantar Mantar in Delhi had gathered. But they were allowed to gather, they were allowed to assemble because none of them were carrying any weapons. We have freedom to assemble peacefully without arms. Third is freedom to form association and union. You have full freedom to form any association, student association, teacher association, doctor association. Freedom to form unions, trade unions, rickshaw unions, taxi driver unions. Then freedom to move freely throughout India. You don't need any permission to move freely throughout India. Then freedom to reside and settle in any part of India. Then we have freedom to practice any profession or trade of your choice. These are the 6 freedoms which you get under right to freedom. Now, let me tell you one thing. You also get certain protections. In respect of conviction for an offense. Under right to freedom, you also get certain protections. When you are convicted for an offense, कुछ गलती के लिए तुमको अगर convict किया गया है, you still have certain protection to get. First, if you are convicted for an offense remember one thing, you cannot be charged greater penalty than what has been prescribed under the law. Means if the law has said, in the law it is written, for this offense the penalty is 500 rupees, just giving an example, you cannot be charged more penalty than that. The police officer cannot take more than 500 rupees from you. So if you are convicted for an offense, you cannot be forced to pay. They cannot charge more greater penalty than what has been prescribed by the law, under the law. Second, no one can be punished or prosecuted for the same offense twice. If you have done some offense and you are already penalized for it, or already you are punished for it, again for the same crime, they cannot punish you second time, or they cannot penalize you for the second time. Third, you cannot be compelled to be a witness when you are accused of an offense. If you are accused of an offense, some offense, you are accused, you have done this offense, you cannot be compelled, means they cannot force you. You cannot be forced to become witness. You cannot be forced to become witness when you are convicted for an offense. They have to get some outside witness who can say, okay, yes, you have done that offense. You cannot be convicted for an offense. So you cannot be compelled to be a witness when you are convicted for an offense. So I repeat again, when you are convicted for an offense, you have three protections. A, you cannot be charged greater penalty than what has been prescribed under the law. Second, no one can be prosecuted or punished for the same offense twice. Third, a person cannot be compelled to be a witness where he himself is accused of an offense. You also get protection when you are arrested or detained. Suppose you are getting arrested under ordinary circumstances, some crime charges has been charged upon you and you are getting arrested. In that case also you have certain rights. When you are getting arrested under ordinary circumstances, the person who is getting arrested have right to know what are the charges, for what grounds a person is getting arrested. He has right to know why he or she is getting arrested. Second, the person who is getting arrested have right to consult his lawyer and prepare for the defense. Third, a person who is getting arrested should be presented in front of magistrate within 24 hours. Within 24 hours you should be presented in front of the magistrate. So I repeat again, when a person is arrested under ordinary circumstances, first you have right to know why are you getting arrested. B, you have right to consult your lawyer and prepare your defense. And third, a person should be taken in front of the magistrate within 24 hours. Sometimes a person is arrested under preventive detention charges. So when you are getting arrested, when you are detained basically under preventive detention, you can be kept in a custody only for 3 months. Okay, 3 months ke liye they can keep you under preventive detention. Remember one thing, when you are arrested under preventive detention, you have been detained only for precautionary measure. You are not accused. A person who is arrested under preventive detention is not accused of a crime. He or she has been arrested only for precautionary measure. Second, you cannot be kept under preventive detention custody for more than 3 months. But yes, there is a committee called as advisory board. This is the group. Advisory board can give permission to keep anyone under preventive detention custody for more than 3 months. And do you know who are the members of advisory board? The judges of High Court. Also, the detainee have right to know what are the grounds of detention. What preventive detention reasons are there that they have been kept under custody. So, these are the rights you have when you are arrested under preventive detention. Now, the next right we are going to talk about is right against exploitation. Right against exploitation. So, first, buying and selling of humans as a commodity is prohibited. It's called as human trafficking. Human trafficking is prohibited. Using of women or girls for immoral purpose is prohibited. Also, employing any children between the age of 6 to 14 for any hazardous job or in any mines or in factory, it is called as child labor. It is not allowed. It is unlawful. Also, any form of forced slavery, beggary or forced labor, slavery, beggary or any type of forced labor is not allowed. The system of bonded labor is also not allowed. So these are right against exploitation. Then we have right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. Every person is entitled to receive free and compulsory. Every person is entitled to freedom of religion. It means every person has a right to practice, profess, preach religion freely of his or her choice. You want to practice whatever religion, preach whatever religion, you have full right to do that. Any religion you are following, any religious affair you are following, by public order, by morality, by health, if it is right, you have right to practice any religious affair. You have right to buy property. All type of property you can buy for your religion, movable or immovable property. You have right to buy that. You have right to administer those property by law. You have right to maintain any religious institution, charitable institution for your religion. Now, there is no religious promotion tax. Also, if any of the institutions which are run by state fund, in short, any of the government schools, government colleges cannot give instruction to promote any particular religion. Okay, if any such instructions are given also, then you cannot be compelled to follow it without your consent or without the consent of your parents or guardians. No one can force you to follow the religion or any religious affair without your consent or without the consent of your parents or guardians. So that is right to religion, freedom of religion. Then we have cultural and educational rights. Cultural and educational rights. Now, every person has a right to maintain their culture, script and language. In the matter of admission in government schools and colleges, nobody can be denied admission on the basis of caste, creed, religion, gender. In fact, in our country, there are a lot of minorities and they have right to administer any of the educational institutions of their choice. Also, There should be no discrimination done with any of the minority group in our country. At times, government has to provide them fund to maintain their educational institution. There are many minorities which are funded by government to maintain their educational institution, especially for their minority group. And then last we have right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies. Now, your fundamental rights are justiciable. What do you mean by justiciable? If any of your fundamental rights are violated, for example, somebody made you do child labor, somebody forced you to follow religion without your consent, someone did some discrimination on the basis of caste, creed, gender, someone did not allow you to move freely in India where it was allowed. Any of your fundamental rights, if are violated, you have right to move Supreme Court and High Court. You have right to get protection by Supreme Court and High Court, and that right is called as right to constitutional remedies. So basically this right is going to protect all your other fundamental rights. Your all fundamental rights are going to be protected by this right. That is why our fundamental rights are justiciable. Fundamental rights allows you to get protection, allows you to get justice in case of their violation. In case of their violation, you can file a case against a person or a group or an institution who has violated your fundamental rights. The High Court and Supreme Court will hear your cases and will help you to enforce your fundamental rights back, will help you to get protection because of this violation. In fact, Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar has said, this right is heart and soul of the Constitution. It is actually not a right, it is a remedy. It is a remedy. What if your other fundamental rights are violated? So this is a remedy, this is a solution. That is why this right is very, very important. How will Supreme Court and High Court help you to get your fundamental rights back? By issuing the written orders, and those written orders are called as WRITS, writs. Those written orders are called as writs. So your fundamental rights will be given back to you by issuing the order called as writs. WRITS, writs. Who is entitled to issue writ? Supreme Court, High Court. Who is entitled to issue writs? Supreme Court, High Court. How many writs do we have? So we have 5 writs. First, habeas corpus. If any person has been unlawfully detained by another individual or group of individual, then High Court or Supreme Court will issue the writ of habeas corpus, means right to have the body of an individual. It means a person who has been unlawfully detained, please release that person. Basically, this writ safeguard the personal freedom of a citizen. Nobody can unlawfully force you to stay somewhere where you don't want to. Second, mandamus. If any government authorities are not assisting you, not helping you, then Superior Court is going to issue this order to any administrative authority who is not helping you. Mandamus, it means we order. We order you to do this. We order. Then we have writ of prohibition. Sometimes some cases are going on in the lower court, but the lower court judges maybe are not so qualified that they can handle those cases. Maybe they don't have so much of expertise or experience to handle such cases. In that case, higher court will issue the writ to the lower court asking them to stop the proceeding of that case in their court. Maybe they are using their power of jurisdiction in excess. This is called as writ of prohibition. Writ of prohibition is issued by one court to another court. Stop the case in your court. Then we have writ of certiorari. It means again this is issued by one court to another court. It means that what has happened so far, in any case, inform us. Writ of certiorari means right to be informed. We want to know so far in this case what has happened. And last writ is quo warranto. Quo warranto means by what order. Sometimes some person has usurped any office. So public officers sometimes wrongly or forcibly misuse their power. So if they misuse their power, court can issue the writ to them, quo warranto, asking them by what order, with whose permission you did this. So this will prevent them from from doing any misusing their power. So writs protects our fundamental rights. And the last right is right to education. Right to education. Right to education allows every child to receive education, free and compulsory education in government schools and colleges between the age of 6 to 14. Between the age of 6 to 14, the state shall provide free and compulsory education to all these children. Now we have one more right which is called as RTI, right to information. This is not a fundamental right, it is an implied right. This is a right which has been included in our constitution since October 12th, 2005. Why am I saying it's an implied fundamental right? Because implied fundamental right is the one which is a part of the named fundamental right. Now, for example, we have freedom of speech, we have freedom of expression. But you can speak freely, you can express freely only when you have all information available to you. If you don't have right information available, how will you speak freely? How will you express freely? So who helps you to use your freedom of speech and expression? RTI, right to information. This right allows every citizen of India to get all information regarding government department. We have full right, we want government to maintain transparency in their working. So we have full right to receive all the information about government project, government work, about the ministers, everything. This right allows you to get information from government and any public authorities. You can take certified copies in this. You can ask them questions. You can inspect the documents. If needed, whatever samples, whatever material government is using in their construction purpose, you have right to take the samples also to test them. Usually when you want information under RTI department, you have to write applications. Those applications are received by PIO and APIO. What is PIO? Public Information Officer. And what is APIO? Assistant Public Information Officer. They will give you all the information. Usually in this case, application is responded back in the period of 30 days. And now last, with the rights come duties. Yes. Duties are written in part 4 of our constitution. 42nd Amendment Act 1976. This had added fundamental duties to our constitution. Let's quickly have a look at the duties. It is a duty of every citizen to respect the national flag, national anthem, and abide by the constitution. Whatever ideas, values our freedom fighters have taught us, we should cherish and follow them. Protect the sovereignty, integrity, and unity of your country. Defend the country and be ready to give service for your country if your country needs it. Promote harmony. Spirit of common brotherhood among all the religion, language. Preserve rich heritage and culture of your country. Protect and improve the environmental condition of your country. Protect the forests, rivers, mountains, nature of your country. Develop scientific temper. Have attitude of spirit of inquiry, reforms. You should not be superstitious. You should not have blind belief. You should not have, you should always have questioning attitude basically. Safeguard the public property, not to get into violence. Do excellence in all the field, whatever you are good at. Collectively, individually, you should do excellent in your sphere. And last duty which has been added is a new duty which has been added according to 86th Amendment Act 2002. And that duty is, it is a duty of every parent or a guardian to provide education to their children or ward between the age of 6 to 14 years. So these are your fundamental duties, and our duties are very important. Why are duties important? Because it makes citizen aware of the social and economic obligation. It warns them what should we do and what should we not do for our country. What is in interest of our country, what is not in interest of our country. It awakens people regarding the cultural heritage. It removes all the unruly element from the society. It strengthens national harmony, because if you follow your duty properly, it creates patriotism feeling in you. So that is our fundamental duty. Thank you so much.